Hello everyone, my name is Belle and today I wanted to show you my top 5 most favorite art pieces. And when I say art pieces, I mean my own paintings. As you all know, I am a painter myself and I have painted for a few years and have accumulated dozens of art pieces. And these are all available in my official website. You can go to my channel and you can see the navigation panel on my website, and when you click on it you will see art prints, and when you go to this link you will be directed to my online art gallery called La Belle Gallery, and in there you can see all of my paintings and you can purchase it if you want to, or just enjoy it if you want. If you enjoy some visual arts, all in there. So let's start. My top 5 most favorite arts of all time. Number 5 is called Consuming Incense. I used a surrealism technique in this painting. This is a combination of different symbols and different images in order to narrate, or in order to tell a story. This is actually a gargoyle. This was inspired by the movie called Underworld, and there's this one particular scene in Underworld that shows a gargoyle, and I thought I would incorporate that in this painting. So this Consuming Innocence actually is all about the purity inside of us, the child, the inner child inside of us, where this inner child perceives something that is bigger, something monstrous, something scary that consumes it. Okay, and as you may notice, the moon is not perfectly circled, and the reason for that is I wanted this painting to give a certain dreamy, where it is not real, it is not in real life, it is something that is only perceived in a mind's eye. As you can see in this painting, there are many different elements that I used. The landscape, the child, the dead tree, the moon, of course, and this image of a woman that is sort of fleeting over the background, and of course the pigeon, and the element of the shadow figure, and of course, you know, the monster that is devouring the woman, or the face in the figure. And as I've said, this is a story of a child, or that purity and that innocent part in all of us that perceives something that is scary, something that is monstrous. And it could be a dream, it could be a nightmare of someone. It can also be the dark parts in all of us that is being highlighted in this. To me, a painting or an art is always a mirror, because it always reflects something inside of us that we may be aware of, we may not be aware of. It could be in our subconscious, it could be not, but each and every one of us has our own interpretation of the art. One person can see or interpret this in another way, another person can see and interpret this in their own way. It is different for everyone. That is the beauty of art. That's why I love art so much, because an artist can put something out there, but the viewer can see it in their own way, which may be different for the artist's interpretation. It could be that, but it speaks something inside of us that may be different. Number 4 is called The Inner Child, and this is one of my most favorite, because I remember when I painted this, I sort of just kind of like let go. This is when I truly get in touch with my inner child and wanted to capture how it feels like for that inner child that I feel inside of me. And as you can see, this painting is very whimsical. It has a lot of colors. There's an element of lollipops in it. There's butterflies, but the butterflies are painted not a typical butterfly. It is how the child inside of me thinks of a butterfly. The road is very colorful. As you can see, the flowers are not really flowers. As you can see, there are 2 human figures, and the reason for that is this, to me, represents that the child inside of us that always wants to share that feeling and that love inside of us with another person. That true and pure essence in all of us that always wants to share something to another person. That's why I painted two human figures. The clouds are not clouds, they are on the spiral. I say this is like, to me, I was just kind of playing. When I painted this, I felt like, oh, I'm just gonna play it around, you know. I put snails on it, but it does not look like snails. But it suggested snails. Like, I was just playing around. This is me just allowing my inner child to just kind of play and do whatever it is that I want and whatever my imagination just wanted. This is when I truly learned how to just kind of allow my hands to do the painting and not really think about it too much. You know, just allow your intuition, allow your instinct to just let it flow, just let it flow. Whatever colors that comes to mind, just put it out there. So this is the product of it. Number 3 in my collection is called Feels Like Home. Now, as you can see, this is a black and white. And the reason that I used a black and white technique on this, I wanted to give a sense of drama, a sense of nostalgia in it. This is inspired by my childhood, my entire childhood. I remember we used to go for vacation every summer, every school break to my mother's island. My mother actually was born and raised in an island or group of islands because that's where her family came from. And so every vacation or summer break, I remember we used to fly over there. We would spend a month or two just living in an island, and it was so much fun. I remember we would stay in this huge vacation house in one island, and then after a few weeks or a few days, we would hop into another island. We would ride a boat and we would visit my grandmother on the second island, and we would have a tour of the entire island with my cousins, with my aunts, with my uncles. And I remember we would visit to one house after another, and we would have to eat on that house because we cannot say no because that would mean a disrespect for them, right? And so we would have to like pretend that, you know, we like the food or something like that. It was so much fun. I remember eating the most fresh seafoods there is. They would literally cook it in front of you, and that's all for free. Like, you don't have to pay for anything. Of course, that's like my family and all. And then I also remember me and my cousins, we would, you know, ride a boat in the middle of the sea in between those islands, and you know, they would go fishing. My cousins are all divers, by the way. My uncles, they were all divers. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to fish. I have never experienced that before, but I remember we would go swimming on white beach or white sand. And this feels like home to me. This painting was inspired by that. That's why the title is Feels Like Home, because that was my home. That is my home. Now you know why I always go to the beach, why I'm always drawn to the beach. It is because of my childhood, my entire childhood. Even in my adult years, like, we used to go there for vacation. So much fun, you know, things that you'll never forget, and things that you learn that you do not learn and you do not see through books, through going to school. No, only there that you will learn things that, you know, no one can taught you. Number 4 in my collection is called The Dark Hole. And this one is very special because this particular painting won a semi-finalist on an art competition in Brooklyn, New York. And I painted this actually during the aftermath of the recession. If you guys remember, a lot of people actually lost their job at that time, and I felt really heavy in the collective. That's why I painted this. It's called The Dark Hole. As you notice, I used a pointillism technique here in this painting, but at the same time, this is again another surrealism painting. And the reason for that is This is during the time when I was starting to learn how to do pointillism technique. I used it in this painting, Dark Hole. And I was really, really happy because first time ever that my painting ever won an award, a semi-finalist. This is a world competition. A lot of entries were submitted from different artists all over the world. It was organized by the Brooklyn Art competition in New York or something like that, and this painting was a semi-finalist. Yes. And if you guys want to have a copy of this, you can just go to my website. I already said it. Anyway, number one in my collection is called Spanish Reverie. And this is my most favorite painting of all. It is because of its simplicity, and you can feel it. You can feel the vibe when you see it. That's why it's called Spanish Reverie. This is inspired by a particular place in Spain, somewhere in Spain. And that's why the original title of this is actually Somewhere in Spain. It's not Spanish Reverie. I just changed it. The reason why this is special is because this painting is a precursor of all of my landscape paintings. This is the very first landscape painting that I have ever done. And as you can see, the way I painted it, it's very raw. It's very naked. You can feel it in every brushstrokes. You know, I was very inexperienced with landscape at this time. But then again, I was able to put it off because I just kind of let it go. I just let it flow. I did not question myself. I respected the flow of my energy when I painted this one. And, you know, there are a lot of mistakes, but this is not one of those paintings that wants to pretend to be perfect. It is imperfect, as you can see. There are a lot of mistakes in it. But at the same time, it is beautiful to see because it is pure and it wants to come out. And that's the beauty of it. This to me is what true art is all about. This to me is when an artist can really let loose and let go of her own artistry that is in there, that is innate, and that is pure. I feel victorious to be able to capture that in this painting. That's why to me this is the most favorite. It is because I fought so hard to keep that innocence and that naivety and that belief in humanity and that rawness and that imperfection inside of me, and I just let it out in this painting. Now you understand. It's like Van Gogh's painting. Van Gogh does not pretend to be perfect. He does not. He just is. He just who he is. And even though during his time he was not really recognized, but still he was able to capture that innocence inside of him, that imperfection, that fire, that passion. And that's what makes a Van Gogh, you know? So this is it for me. Yeah, again, if you guys wanted to have a copy of this or just wanted to see this closed up, you can go to my official website. There is a link in my channel. And please don't forget to check out all of my books as well, my novels. I have written some stories. And if you just want to just kind of like escape through books and all, if you like reading, it's all in there. All the best, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.